Hello, 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 everyone. It's Temple Jackson, founder of WordUp with Temple. Recently, WordUp with Temple and the Over Enthusiast, and still definitely some connection to the two, trying to work out new branding. But I'm happy to be here tonight. I'm happy to go live. I just realized when I put my hands in my head just this moment, I made myself look like Albert Einstein again, and I just don't want to do that again. So anyway, that's what it is. But I'm super happy to be here tonight to go live. I've had a little bit of a break as the summer has been winding down and as America has been experiencing 360-degree whiplash politically. But here we are, we're back, and today's recording is super exciting because I get to welcome my friend Sibongile B. N. Lynch here to talk about her life as an author, as an actor, as a Black woman in America over perhaps the age of 60, retired, doing what she wants with a number of different interests. This is in the essence of talking to everyday people who carry around these gems of wisdom that we often might miss out on unless we have the opportunity to perhaps speak with them and hear from them on a platform like this, YouTube. So that's really fantastic. And she's been courageous enough to agree to come on and let me interview her. But so if you have never been here before, if you're here for the first time, rather, this is my intro. Welcome to Talking with Temple. We are a free-thinking, tribeless community seeking to improve and motivate the mental health and holistic wellness of our viewers through exploration of unique cultures and journeys. We believe heartedly that humor, expressive art, soul care, and professional clinical counseling and education are the fundamental and the foundational tenets of personal success and societal growth. This is a spiritual happiness channel. That's what it is, you dig? So anyway, if you like what you see today, please like and subscribe. And if you have some comments you want to put in the comment box, go ahead and put them there. Whether or not I can actually interview Sibongile and answer the comments is a whole other story. And that I am going to blame on aging. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Sibongile. Thank you for being here today.
Hey,
How are
Temple.
you?
Don't blame it on aging. Look, that stuff be hard, and we just have to learn it when we can, as fast as we can, at our own pace. So it's not aging.
It in our own pace. But I'll tell you, I mean, I know that I'm sharper, let's say, than at least half the people on my street. I can't give
Okay.
myself credit, but honestly, I'm not as sharp as I used to be.
It's like when I was
Say when I was 30.
about 4 or 5 years ago, I was doing Taekwondo. I made it all the way up to green belt, and it was kind of funny because I was taking the class with probably a bunch of 10 and 11-year-olds.
Oh my goodness, you went with the little kids. That sounds like some kind of adventure film.
It was fun, and I was feeling a little bad about it. And the teacher said, "Well, think about it." He said, "How many of your friends are doing what you're doing right now?"
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, "I think I'm too old for this." He's like, "No, you're not." He said,
Yeah.
"How many of your friends are doing what you're doing right now?" When I thought about it in that way, I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah, you got a point."
Absolutely. And then you think about the flip side of that experience for these young children to have the experience of seeing how you navigate through the sport, the skill. That's really fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, these are the reasons. You see that right there. Now it's Taekwondo. You didn't tell me about that.
I can
So
tell you
now
some
these are
stories.
the reasons I really wanted the opportunity to speak with you live and talk about your interests in life, particularly your writing. And for just to let everyone know, I'm really just joined the social media coming out of a shell, a long life shell, which is not a shell that one. I mean, I was living life, going all around the world, but not, into the social media. And so I like to say I was released and now I'm able to explore it. And going back almost maybe a year ago, we had some communication, I think, on Instagram. And at
Mhm.
one point, we just thought, oh, we should just meet, right?
Yes, yes. And I just always remember seeing your beautiful smile. Every time I saw you, you were very positive, and I just really appreciated that.
Thank you. Well, it took us, almost a year, but we're here.
Yeah.
And it's just been a great experience over the past month as we've been planning to come together and speak today. And I have resisted. I had, oh my goodness. Oh, where is your book? I had it. It was supposed to be right
Oh,
in front of
and
me.
I was supposed to have it too. So
Okay, so I might have to make a mad grab for it, but it is your book, so you do know. But Sabongale was kind enough to send me her book on. You say the title. I don't want to mess it up.
it's now about that.
Now
uh,
about that budget.
Contemplations, meditations, and affirmations on how to at least start thinking about creating a budget. That's for those
That's
people
right.
who haven't even put pen to paper yet, and they don't even want to think about it.
And I loved it. And it's a really thin book. And I read the whole book like right before I went to bed, the day I received it. And it was just so awesome. And so the reason why the book is not in front of me is because I'm staying in a hotel room for the next week. Right. And so it's somewhere here, but we're going to remedy that. As we speak, I'm putting my spidey senses. All right, let's hop right into it.
Okay.
Savon,
Hmm.
because I know that is one project for you.
Yes.
So, what is directing your steps right now in this moment in time? Like, tell us about who you are, what is directing your space, particularly your passion for writing, which is something we've been discussing,
Hmm.
being published, becoming published. And then you said something to me, or maybe you put it in writing. So, you said, being a backup actor. And it was interesting because the term I remember is extra.
Hmm.
And yeah, yeah. And last night I'm in bed, sort of, getting ready for this interview. And I was thinking, so she's using the language backup actor. And
Actually, it's background act. That's what
background.
they
That's it.
call it. Yeah, that's what they
Background.
call it now.
And
Hmm.
I thought, that's really what it is, right?
Hmm.
Background, because if you have ever worked as an extra before, and I have, you are acting,
Literally in the background.
literally acting in the background. So, what is directing your steps right now, lady?
Well, I would like to think, not so much directing my steps, but I would like to think that my steps are being ordered by the universe, by the ancestors, by all of those things, right? Um, because I'm not exactly sure what's directing them. I just get
Okay.
up and do what I do.
Ordered by, though.
Yeah,
Ordered.
yeah,
I
and
love that.
and I just trust that I'm doing it the way that they want me to do it. Um,
Mm,
it's also being ordered by and or directed by, I guess, directed by me, ordered by the universe. But
ordered by.
also, I think at this point in my life, and yes, I'm over 60. I'm 61. I'll be 62 in October. Um, I kind of have a sense of urgency, I guess, about completing something, completing all of the things that I know that I've wanted to complete in my life, to accomplish the things that I wanted to accomplish. It's funny because even after I had gotten the quote unquote good job, after I completed college finally, after I gotten a second degree, got married, got the house, got the car, I still felt a bit unaccomplished. And I think part of that had to do with the fact that I hadn't written a book yet, or at least hadn't published a book, because I've written a bunch of stuff
Mm.
published, and I've
So
always
wait,
wanted.
when you say that, then are you also saying to me that in all those things you wanted to, that you did accomplish, that there was this thing that was really your heart thing?
Oh, always. I've been writing since I was probably 11 or 12 years old. And back in the day, before the internet, before print on demand, before everybody was self-publishing, self-publishing back then was kind of looked down upon, I guess. It
Yes.
wasn't looked at favorably, right? If you wanted to be taken seriously as an author, as a writer, you know, you just wouldn't self-publish. Although there were people self-publishing, right? But again, if you wanted to be looked at favorably as an author, as a writer, you had to be published by one of the big publishing houses, right? So that has always just been a goal of mine.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
the book that I did publish, now about that budget, I did do that one myself, right? But technically and actually, I'm a fiction writer. I'm a novelist, um, and I still want to be published by one of the big publishers, right? I just did the now about that budget. I just wanted to show myself that I could self-publish if I wanted to, right?
Right, right.
And maybe at some point I will. But my memoir, I'm shopping it around now for publishers. And then I have a novel in progress also.
Good,
So
good.
we'll see how it goes.
Good. I love this because, you know, you and I had the opportunity to speak yesterday, and I was a little bit under the weather. I'm so glad that I did not give into that atmospheric bug demon that's going around right now, trying to keep me from doing all this fun stuff right here.
Mhm,
I loved it earlier when you began to speak. You talked about the sense of urgency, and
mhm,
you know, it's not that we don't, women our age who are literally now, you know, 60 and forward. Um, and really any woman over the age of 50. But here, I
mhm.
always say 60 is different from 50,
Yeah.
and 50 is different from 40.
10 years makes a difference.
But
10
that
years
it
makes a
sure
difference.
does, man. And we know that now. It's learned experience you can only have until, you know, like getting there. But we were speaking yesterday, and I love that you said the sense of urgency. And I said, none of us right now, remember that quote you said, ooh, that was deep, right? That's I
Oh,
did write it down. None of us has the luxury of long-term projections anymore.
exactly.
None
Yeah.
of us has that luxury anymore. And so to get right to doing what you dreamed of, I was wondering, because I think a lot of us do what we believe the world expects of us and what our culture expects of us.
Sure.
If you're particularly, you know, if you're Black, go get a college degree, get a government job, get da 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 da. And
Mhm,
so I'm really big on asking that question, that Jungian philosophy around and psychology around, if you don't know who you are, one day
mhm,
the world will ask you who you are. And if
mhm,
you don't know, well, then it'll tell you who you are. And
mhm,
most of us have been operating on being told,
mhm.
and then we go, oh, shoot. So I just want to remind you that Margaret Atwood was self-published and Handmaid's Tale, right? So,
Okay,
you
okay.
know, you
That's
can
good to know.
still,
I'd be in good company.
that's it. You'd be in good
Mhm,
company, but at the same time, why not get on the top, right?
mhm.
Five. Why not do it? So
Yes,
when are
yes.
you going to do it for us?
Well, again, right now I'm shopping publishers for the
Okay.
memoir, and it's funny because I never intended to write anything autobiographical,
Okay.
but some of these experiences that I've had, um, I guess within the last 20, 30 years,
Mhm.
um, started to kind of come to the forefront of my mind during the pandemic. And I think the pandemic also um, uh, kind of nurtured a sense of urgency as well, right? It's like,
Amen to that.
so, so because of that, I started writing these, and actually, and also motivated and encouraged by my therapist.
Hooray! Because guess who's a therapist, everyone?
Exactly.
I am.
Yes, encouraged by
That's it.
her, I
Thank you.
continue to just write down these experiences that I know I've had over the years that were, I think, significant for me, right? And I was watching The View one day, and there was this young Asian lady who, very young. I don't even think she was. I think she might have been 30, and I
Okay.
think I'd seen her in a movie before, but I can't even tell you her name right now. I can't tell you who she is, but she came on the show to promote her memoir. And I was like, at 30, she's got a memoir? Surely, surely,
And
surely
yes, she
I could come up
does,
with some
right? Yes, she
experiences.
does have a memoir at 30 because, we can live, woo boy, as
Okay.
you know, yeah, but I
So
like
yeah,
that
so
motivator.
that's what
I
encouraged me to do
love
the
that
memoir.
motivator.
Although like I said, although I consider myself a novelist, but I said I might have some stuff to put together here. And so that's what I did. And so again, I'm shopping publishers now
Okay.
for that. So
Can you tell us about spitting out bones?
Spitting Out Bones is the title of the memoir. Okay. Um, I started out with Eat the Fish and Spit Out the Bones because I meant to have that Bible verse that talks about taking what is good and discarding the rest.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up for us right
Yeah,
now.
or I'll send it to you later or something. I'm sure
Uh-huh.
somebody probably knows it.
Yeah. That's right.
But yeah, but basically in life, you take the good pieces and use those and spit out what you can use, right? Eat the fish, spit out the bones.
Mm.
And so I ended up shortening it to just Spit Out the Bones. And so that's the title of the
Mhm.
memoir. That's also the title of my website, Spit Out the Bones. But you can go to the website at sabongalelynch.com, right?
Okay, and
Um,
by the way, this is the hardest like of all the Bible, the books in the Bible, but I'm going to butcher it. This is the one that I've never been able to pronounce, but just so I did find it for anyone that's interested, and I will go ahead and put it. I guess I'll cut and paste it and put it in the chat box. It's 1 Thessalonians.
Thessalonians.
Thessalonians. See, Thessalonians. You just did that. You're so good.
Now, I grew up in the church, so I know the
That's
Bible.
right, 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 right. So I grew up in a very different sort of religious background, but now I'm a Christian woman, right? So that's it, 5:19 through 21.
Yeah, I believe that's what it
Okay.
is. Yeah, yeah.
So I love that. And as a therapist, in an effort always to, as a licensed clinical therapist, in an effort
Hmm.
to move people forward from the narrative of the past, I
Hmm.
say, look, coulda, woulda, shoulda, take what you can, transferable skills and lessons, and bring that forward and just let go of the rest. Just get it out
Hmm.
of that. Like, I like to look at, I tell people that, wow, that feels like, just imagine like a dumpster, and then you
Hmm.
put some straps on it, and then you strap that on. And that's your backpack, is a dumpster.
And I think, especially by the time we get to this age, I always say that I didn't get to be 61 for nothing, right? I think by the time we get to this age, we've all done just that, right?
Ah,
We've
mhm.
taken good experiences, bad experiences, discard what we can't use,
That's it.
and use the rest to move on and survive. So I think that describes a lot of us.
Sibongale, it describes a lot of us, and
Hmm.
only if it described all of us, right? And we know the evidence, the wonderful thing about you choosing right now to say, hey, there's a whole other phase. In fact, when it comes to the actual scientific stages of development of something that I buy into as a clinician, you're
Mhm.
not in that. You're still 5 years away from that stage, which is called old age, and then we stay in that until however long we live. To
Yes.
be able to choose, like, no, I'm not done yet, because I think every day we see examples on the street, everywhere, of people that are just not choosing anymore,
Yeah. Yeah.
have given
Yeah.
up that faith, right? That belief. All right. As you talk about this, the spitting out bones and these little sort of monologues about your life that you kept over time writing and saying, and by the way, as a writer, I really wanted to stay away from the memoir my entire life.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
and for a lot of reasons, because I have that secret thing that I'm just been coming out. It's not secret amongst those who know, but
Mhm.
I was raised in ritualistic religious cult.
Mm.
And
Interesting.
so, there's a real sort of like, nah, maybe, you just wait till everyone dies off. But I have this past year, and the thing that I've been preaching with the folks I work with is the courage to be courageous, right? And I think that's
Mhm.
what memoirs really require, is that
Mhm.
courage to be courageous,
Mm.
to not care about who hears your version of the story,
Right.
and how you tell it is really your business,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Because it was your experience, so you have a right to tell it if you want to.
That's it, your lived experience. So with that, I'm wondering if you can tell our viewers, and by the way, y'all, if anyone's listening, I don't even know, we got 0 viewers live, but guess what? That's okay.
That's
Okay.
okay.
That's
Somebody
okay.
will see it. Somebody will see it eventually.
Someone will see it eventually.
It'll be out there in the metaverse.
It'll
So.
be out there in the metaverse, right?
Mhm.
Sapongole, you know it, and I know it, and plus our friends they'll watch it afterwards and we'll blast it. So it's
Absolutely.
gonna get, so it
Absolutely.
doesn't matter. I love H&D, where they talk about how they talked about when they first started, and they went out there and it was just like, like
Hello,
no,
hello, hello, hello,
hello,
hello.
hello, right? So we are okay.
I
With
feel like that every time I post a video on YouTube. So.
My goodness, I'm telling you.
Mhm.
So we are okay. I actually think this is an incredible interview and a very important topic, and really just an important vibe of seeing two
Mhm.
women at this age, and of color, Black women of color,
Mhm.
and how
Especially in light of the fact that there are those out there who think that us postmenopausal women are only good for taking care of babies.
only good for taking care of babies. You mean like
Somebody else's babies at
I
that.
brought up Margaret Atwood early. You mean as a handmaid?
Okay.
Possibly,
You're
right?
only good to be Martha's, I guess.
That's right. That's it. I mean, I have already decided I'm not going to be an Aunt Lydia. No, thank you. Right?
Oh, but yeah, Aunt Lydia.
Yeah. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Mm-mm,
I will
mm-mm.
find another way
And
to get
because I know that there are those out there who think that way, I'm even more determined not to be. Yeah,
And I
yeah.
love that. And why not? Why not be determined by, so someone wants to have some limited idea about who we are and what we have
Mhm.
power over. I mean, really,
They
quite.
think that about white women.
Yeah.
Imagine what they think about Black women who are
Well, and
who's menopausal.
we already know we got that built in, like, superhero stuff. We're like, what, really? You right? It just comes
Mm-mm.
with the territory. But
Okay.
okay, so where do you start though? Where does your story, just even if it's a little bit, where were you born? I know you're in Georgia.
Mhm.
Uh, and I'm wondering, I never asked you if you have been a background actor for The Walking Dead, which is filmed.
Mm.
I'm like a big,
No.
okay, like that's like my thing. But but where does your story begin in life though? How does it begin in life?
Well, I've been in Georgia for over going on 34 years now. I was born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri. It's my hometown. Shout out to the Lou. Shout out to the Lou.
Wow.
And I still have family there. I get there from time to time.
St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis, Missouri, Gateway Arch, all of that.
Wow.
Midwest, basically. I grew up in North
The
St. Louis.
Grand Emporium? Was it the Grand Emporium, the jazz place down there in St. Louis? The Emporium?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I
Go
don't
on.
know.
Go on.
I'm not familiar with that.
All right.
So yeah, I grew up in St. Louis. I've been in Georgia
Wow.
for over 34 years.
Okay.
Anybody who knows me knows my story, knows that I lost both my parents when I was still in high school.
Oh, wow.
Um, so, I mean, I struggled for a long time, to
Yeah.
find my place, to learn how to take care of myself. And so a lot of that is going to be in the memoir if you want to know more about that. But
Yes, indeed, indeed. And speaking of that, I have to get rid of I have some great banners that if you want to hear more about that, you can contact Sibongale here at
mhm.
sibongalelynch.com
Yes.
slash contact, but it's right
Yeah,
here.
that's actually my website on the contact page. If someone sends me their information, I can add them to the Substack
And I have
newsletter.
Substack
Yeah.
right here.
Mhm.
Let's see.
Yeah, or you can go directly to Substack.
Oh yeah, please like and
Mhm.
subscribe, everyone. We're doing, there we
Yes.
go. Do I have comments and questions? Yeah, that has
Yes.
nothing to do, and that's me. Who cares? Let's get away.
Look, this is the YouTube. They know what to do.
They know what to do, but I
They know what
added
to
your
do.
Substack and I want to see that
Okay.
I did a good job.
Okay.
There
Yeah,
you
yeah,
go.
they're nice.
I added
Yeah,
that Substack. I just have to stop this thing right there. There you go.
there you
So
go.
there's your
See,
substack.com
you
slash,
learning me something.
what was that?
I said you learning me something.
Am I really good? I'm glad I'm
Mhm.
learning me something. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they can sign up for the newsletter directly on Substack, or if you go to the webpage, the contact on my website, sabongalelynch.com, then I can actually sign you up for the Substack. So either way,
Yeah,
I'm putting out information as it comes about the memoir, and when
wonderful.
hopefully it'll be
Wonderful.
out. So
And this is also your YouTube channel. We don't
mhm,
retire, we ascend, which I love.
mhm.
So there it
Yes,
is, folks. I know you say don't blame it on aging, but for me, it just feels like a perfect. I mean, I know I'm dynamic, but when it comes to technology, this is an aging thing.
yeah,
But
yeah.
listen, I'm
Well,
going
some
to
of us are
surprise you.
technology challenged, and it has nothing to do with age. So.
That's it. So, but I'm going to surprise you, but because also you can buy Sibongale's book. What about that budget?
Actually you can just go straight to Amazon.
Oh, here it
And
is. No, this is it. See,
there,
ding.
yeah, go straight to Amazon.
You can go straight to Amazon. Listen,
Amazon.
we have one
Or
person
either and just type in now about that budget. It should come up.
now about that budget.
Mhm,
So there's that. So, Sibongale, thank you for sharing that you lost your parents when
mhm,
you were a teenager.
mhm,
I'm, first of all, whatever the story is, I would like to start with, let me get rid of that banner, start with giving you my condolences.
oh, well,
And
thank you.
and
Thank
that
you.
is something that we did not discuss
Mhm,
before shooting today. And I'm in some ways I'm kind of glad that you didn't tell me, and I get to learn here with everyone else.
mhm,
And so, of course, I mean, I don't think a sister ever meets a sister and thinks that she doesn't have a story to tell. You know what I
mhm,
mean?
mhm. Yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
it gives some, and so could I ask you, do you have siblings? Are you an
I
only
do. I have two older sisters, and I have one younger sister who is also in Atlanta.
Mhm,
I had a half brother who passed away some years ago. So
mhm.
yeah, I got plenty family. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
plenty
yeah,
of
yeah. You have plenty of family, but still in all, have having had the privilege to work with people who are dying or families of who've lost loved ones, That thing, though, about losing one's parents is very tricky because I call it the
Mm-hmm.
bookends of life. And so to lose one's bookends is starts to, especially when we're young,
Mm-hmm.
it almost too soon. And this is, I'm speaking from my clinical psychotherapy lens, makes us ask the question, then where do I come from? Then what
Mm-hmm.
am I connected to? Because
Yeah.
the mother and the father are the bookends.
Well, I mean, it's been a long time ago now. It's been
Sure.
40 years ago um, um, now, and so I think that I've had, like I said, it was rough in the beginning, no
Mhm.
doubt.
Yeah, yeah.
But at this point, I feel more compassion for people who are now losing their parents because they've had
Mm,
their parents for so long.
mhm,
I had, I don't know if I want to call it an opportunity, but I learned about death very young.
mhm,
And I think that it gave me what? Um, it gave me a heads up on life that, maybe my friends didn't have, right?
mm, mm.
Um, I'm not exactly sure how to explain
No, I
it.
think that you just put it out there and this is good enough.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's been a long time though, and I
Yeah, yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
I've recovered just fine.
Sure.
Um,
But
so
it's still,
I'm sorry.
these are still such unique experiences.
Mhm.
The best I can say is that at the age of 12, I lost the man that I believed to be my father.
Mm.
That's the best I can say, and it wasn't pretty, and so we won't
Mhm.
even go into it. But thank you for sharing, and more reasons for us to look forward
Mhm.
to your memoir, and more reasons for Penguin in London to go over there and have you as a private, get you a private audience. Let me see who I can
And
call.
Simon and Schuster
Simon
and
Schuster.
Random
That's right.
House, all of the
That's
above, if
right. They
y'all
should be so
listening.
lucky. That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay. I want to know. Um, I'd love to ask this question, which is a question we use in clinical psychology. It's called the miracle
Mhm.
question.
The
If
miracle
the
question.
miracle question, that's
Okay.
right. The
Okay.
miracle question. If
Okay.
you were to go to sleep right now, um, and wake up, and when you wake up, any obstacles, it's not that life has changed so drastically or dramatically,
Mhm.
but it's that any obstacles in the way of the miracle that
Mhm.
you have designed or you might want have are not there. And so if you were to go to sleep and then wake up right now and the miracle has occurred, it has occurred, what would that
Mhm.
look like for you?
The miracle.
Yeah.
Um,
As soon as you open your eyes and other senses, what do you smell? What do you see?
actually, hmm, I think I would say, and I think I saw that question. I read that question when you sent my questions to me, but
Yeah.
I was actually thinking something physical.
Ah.
But I think I would say time. I think I would not have waited so late to believe that what I truly want, which is to be a writer. I think I would not have waited so late to really pursue it. I think I would have done it a long time ago and tried harder a long time ago. But I
Mm,
was still too busy trying to accomplish all of those things that they say we should accomplish.
this is it right
Um,
here.
yeah. So yeah, I think time. I think
You would cast
I
yourself
would roll
back
back
some
time.
time.
I will roll back time. You know how people say, if I knew then what I know now, I will roll back time knowing what I know now.
Wow, Sibongole. That is a powerful response. Can I
Mhm.
tell you, in 25 years of psychotherapy and counseling and asking that question, maybe 30 years of asking that question of people,
Mhm.
I've never had anyone answer that way.
Wow, I'm surprised.
We typically, it's, I see, this is why women over the age of 55 should
Mhm.
be talking up front, in front of everyone,
Mm,
because
mhm.
most people say, I will be something that's coming ahead, and what that looks like. And you said I would literally roll cash myself back some time. I would
Mm,
roll back some time. I would have seen, so you went back to it, I would have tried harder work, knowing what I know now. Today I
mhm.
know better, so I have the opportunity to do better, and I do better because I know better,
Yeah,
only because
and
I know better.
I don't know if you've seen Terrence Howard. They recently has been, in the news a lot, because he's come up with he's I don't know, he's got like a patent or something for
Okay.
something having to do with, I don't know, it's something.
And
Just
I'm not
Google
aware. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Google Terrence Howard on YouTube, and you'll see
Okay.
he's like he's almost like literally like a genius. He's not
Okay.
just the
Well,
actor that
he's
we think
certainly a
he is.
good-looking genius, and I'm a woman who never wants to be touched by a man again. But he's a good-looking genius. I didn't know he
Right,
was
but
a
I mean,
genius.
literally, he's been speaking like at Oxford,
Is this
University of
right?
Oxford.
I'm
Yeah,
following this
but
story.
he discovered that he learned the secret to something that is like what they call the I forget what they call it. You have to look at it. It's called the flower of the universe. It's some symbol that
Okay.
has reoccurred throughout time. And he woke up and realized that he knew the secret. He understood what it
Okay.
meant. And he said he did that because he had lived another life.
Hmm.
And he woke up and remembered what he had known in this previous life.
Hmm.
So when in Buddhism, right, I practiced Buddhism for a minute, and in Buddhism they say we shouldn't have no regrets about your life, right? Don't
Mm-hmm.
look back and say I
That's
wish I
right.
shoulda, coulda, woulda. Don't do that,
That's
right?
right.
So now when I say I would have rolled back time, if a miracle could happen, I would roll back time. I don't actually regret my life. I don't
Yeah.
regret my
Yeah, I hear you on
experiences.
that.
But now instead, because I have more years behind me than I do in front of me, now I actually feel like in my transition, whenever that time comes,
Mm-hmm.
my desire is to take what I've learned in this life and take it to the next life, like
That's it.
Terrence, like
That's
Terrence
it.
Howard.
No, yeah,
So
no, thank
that
you.
I
That's
can get, so I
beautiful.
can have a
Mhm.
head start in the next life, because I do believe in multiple lives. I do.
You're
So
talking
I
about
just, yeah,
existentialism.
I just want to make sure that I don't, all of this is not wasted. All of these things that I'm experiencing in this life is not wasted. I want to take it to the next life and live an even better life and move even closer to nirvana, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. You are talking about existentialism, right? That is like, it's
Okay.
not that it's in regret, or even that it could be for us, right? It's okay that things are bittersweet, but it's a
Mhm.
more of, I understand better and I understand different today.
Exactly.
And I think we're very lucky. We're the lucky ones. Again, I go back to, there are examples out there of people who could not or did not have choose to understand different or understand better, or couldn't, right? For
Mhm.
all the reasons we've said and all the reasons unsaid.
Mhm.
And you can look at it and go, and I have to say to you, I agree completely. There were a number, I mean, I had my first baby when I was 16 years old, so we
Mm.
can
Mm.
all go into stories about why, especially us women of color, And at this age in particular, our age and older, because you know that our age and older, we experience, especially if you have folks from the South, or you're from the South,
Mm-hmm.
um, we experience these ACEs in psychology, adverse childhood experiences, one in
Mm-hmm.
which was segregation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you and I still have memories of segregation.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have, some of us have stories to tell about what that looked like,
Sure.
for us, and
Mm-hmm.
some of the things we saw when we were little kids. And so we're affected, we're a little bit slowed down in our path and our journey to try, and not even slow down, forget that. The idea of chasing a dream or going after something you'd like to develop or dabble in, or may want to be an artist or a writer, we don't even have that as a possibility,
Mm-hmm.
because it's breathe, eat, work, eat, stay safe, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? And so,
A little
uh,
bit.
but yeah, now you have some choice.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 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 yeah. I love it. I love it. Okay. I want to ask you, thank you for that miracle question. That was powerful. So, anyone out there wasting time, anyone out there who is not doing the do, you go on and contact me at wordupsychotherapy.com, and we're going to talk about how to get your steps motivated, or or to listen in or tune into, what did you say, your steps being, it wasn't directed, what did you say, your steps are
Well, I
being
said that my steps are probably maybe directed by me, but ordered by the universe and ordered by.
ordered. What is ordering your steps? You need, let's all get tuned into that, so you don't waste any
Mhm.
more time than you have.
Yeah,
Time is now. Time is now. Okay. So,
always.
yep, always. Time is now. So my last, like, big question of getting, well, first of all, any other like writing projects or acting projects that you want to share with us? I think it's so important that people, you talked about yesterday, we talked about, like, just the fact that you don't have to get up and go to work the next day.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
tell us.
I was gonna say, as a matter of fact, I also teach English as a foreign language on Cambly. And I schedule myself for an hour every day, but some nights I just cancel because
Some
sometimes
days I
some
just
mornings I don't
am.
feel like
So
getting some mornings I don't feel like being up by 9 o'clock to teach English as a foreign.
see, folks, this is something to strive for.
Yeah. I
How
mean,
long
and
have you been
it's just for
retired?
an hour, but some days I just don't feel like it. So some days I do, and some days I don't. But I've managed to meet some really interesting people. And on Cambly, on the Cambly platform, you don't have to necessarily teach in a class kind of setting. Some people just want to, practice their English, right? They just want to
Mhm.
hold a conversation. And
Okay.
so I've met some really interesting people around the world who just want to,
Wow.
they just want you to listen to them speak English, right?
That's
So
amazing.
that's one of the things that I do. I did some scoring for a testing company this
Okay.
year as well. And also the background acting is something that I never really wanted to be an actor or an actress. I used to always want to be a screenwriter, of course. Um, but I decided, because I live in Yollywood here in Georgia, where movie
Yeah.
studios are popping up all over the place and
All over.
productions are
Yeah.
popping up. Look, I say they need some. I say they need some old black ladies in their
Yes,
movies
they do.
too.
Yes, they do. And they need some regulars.
They need just some regular old black sisters, that's
That's
used to going to
right.
church. So
Amen. Amen.
I do work on different productions. I've worked on several productions. It's not nearly as glamorous as people think it is.
Yeah.
Usually, you don't get a chance to see stars most of the time. If you see them, you
Right.
see them for a hot second, and then
They're over
they're off.
there, right?
Yeah, they're off in their, and they black Escalades back to the hotel or
Right,
whatever. They
right,
come in and do their 10 minutes and go on about their
right.
business.
That's
And
it.
you're basically there all day.
That's it.
it doesn't pay well. If you're looking to do it as a full-time job, you might be sorely disappointed, but it's
Yes,
fun. You
it's
get to meet a
fun.
lot of interesting people, and you get to say, "Oh,
Yeah,
I was in that movie."
that's
You might
right.
not see me, but
That's right.
you get to say
Here's
that.
my arm. I mean, because I've been in a
Exactly.
few of them, and if you're lucky, they provide a decent lunch.
Oh
A
yeah, they feed you
caterer.
well. They
Yeah,
feed
they
you
usually
well.
feed you well.
They
That's
have
the
a
one
bunch of
thing.
snacks, and you're munching all day, and that's probably why I probably gained about 10 pounds
That's
since
right,
I've
because
been
this is like
retired.
the bagels and the right.
All of that, the chips, the cookies,
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it's a lot of fun. I
That
am
is
in
so
a
exciting.
scene in Fight Night, which is coming up, I think, in September. Fight Night with Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
probably
yes,
you
of course.
yeah
You heard it
you
right here, folks.
yeah, you probably won't see me because I'm in the church scene at the probably closer to the end of the movie, and I'm
Okay, okay.
way in the back. Look for the church lady with the white hat. That's me.
I
So
think
yeah, and I
I think you had a photo on Instagram of
mhm,
you in that white hat.
yes,
The church
that was my
lady. I thought you were actually coming from church that day. I actually thought, and then I had just assumed until
mission
this.
accomplished.
Oh,
Not only
wow.
was that my church lady outfit, that was my church lady outfit circa 1974. Because the film takes place, or the story takes place in Atlanta, 1974.
I am such a clown. I was like, oh, she's like me. She's like,
Girl, I ain't never wore a hat to church, but I done seen plenty. I done had plenty aunties and grandmamas
that's
and
great.
church mothers. I've seen plenty of them with church hats on. So, but
Hmm.
so yeah, that's one I think that I can kind of talk about. I've been on the sets for a couple other. I was on the set for Tulsa King. You might see me in that one in the second season coming up.
Great
So
show.
yeah. I've been in several. So
Kudos to you to be
thank
on the
you.
great show with the great Sylvester Stallone. This was such a great show.
Girl,
I'm
I saw
really
him on set for maybe about 10 seconds, getting out the car and going onto the set, and then I think that was all that I saw of him. But like I said, most of the time you're not going to see a whole lot of
yeah, yeah, yeah,
stars.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
How
so
fun is that?
yeah,
How
it's pretty fun. So yeah, I'm doing that, and again, like I said, I'm completing the memoir, and I'm also working on the novel in progress.
okay.
So yeah, those are some of the
Okay.
things that I do besides
Yeah,
like just sit around drinking coffee on the stoop.
yeah, yeah. Sitting around drinking coffee on the stoop. You sound you sound like a well groomed Exodus Summit woman. Right. I'm not like, official part of the Exodus Summit, right? I do my own thing, but I know that you've traveled with them for, and that is it, right? That we were talking
Yeah.
yesterday about Stephanie Perry, who's a formidable leader
Yes.
in these communities.
Yes.
One can take
Yeah.
that from.
I went to Morocco with them last year.
Yeah,
So
that's amazing. And I think that, but you went and you're living the life, right?
I'm
That's
trying.
all that's about, which
I
is,
got a
as you
long way to
said.
go before I can get up there with Stephanie and Rashida, but hey, I'm working on it.
But that's still that life of ease is like, well, sometimes I cancel because I don't want to get up at 9 a.m. in the morning, right? And
Yeah, I
that
am not a
really
morning person
is.
for sure. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. All right. I have one more question, but I want to say to you, you I want maybe you'll set up a challenge with yourself, with the audience. Like, I really want to see you um write to the big boys out there and get one of these publishers to give you a stipend. And I
Mm,
have had, I'm fortunate to have had that experience before. I'm also someone who's blown a stipend before, but I think that's a wonderful goal to have for yourself. And I also think
mhm,
it's an incredibly achievable goal to have for yourself,
mhm.
right? Like, really, you can
Okay.
do it. You can clearly do it. One last question. If something were to break off of you right now
Mm,
permanently,
that was that part of the question that I saw.
yes, what would that be? Well, how did I write it out? Um,
So are we talking about A physical something?
So I would say this is where I want you to sort of think of, like, well, what exactly? Yeah, how are you? Because this could be emotional, it could be physical, it could be mental. If something were to break off of you right now for good,
Hmm.
what would you want that thing, to be?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, of course, my first thought, because I've always had I'm trying to make sure I word this properly, but I've always battled um, with my weight, right? So I'm
Oh,
always
okay.
trying to,
Okay.
lose weight and eat properly and be
Yeah,
healthy and that
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, 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 yeah,
But
yeah.
more than that, I would say um, I would break off any any vestiges. I think that's the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
Any I just don't want I want to be able to walk through the world and truly not give a hoot what
Flippity
people.
flip.
I'm getting to the point in my life now where no is a complete sentence,
Mm,
and I don't feel bad about saying no when I say it.
I love
But
that.
also
Love that.
moving in my life without caring what people think, what they say, doing exactly what I want to do, wearing exactly what I want to wear, all of those
Being
things.
you completely, unapologetically.
Absolutely. And like I said, I'm probably a little more than halfway there.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I
I
love
would like
that.
to just I don't know if you remember the lady who was she was this older white lady who lived in New York, and she dressed just fabulously. She passed away this year, I think. I can't remember her name, but she used to wear these out. Well, some might think they were outrageous costumes, or she
Oh
used to.
gosh, I will have to think about who that is. Okay.
But
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's going to be me when I'm 80. That's going to be me
That's
when I'm
it.
80. I'm just going to
Why
wear what
not?
I want to wear,
Look at
say
it.
what I want to say, do what I want to do, and not give a hoot what people think.
That's it. Because
Mhm,
you know something, I do believe we earn this. We earn this. And at the end of the day, if your steps are being ordered
mhm,
by something that is of good, of peace, of beauty, of love,
mhm,
then in terms of this whole ancestor thing, I agree 100% that we have labored enough. Our
mhm,
ancestors have labored enough for us.
mhm, mhm.
And so I love one of the things I love that comes out straight out of the 12-step programs is what other people think about me is none of my
None of
business.
my business.
None of my
None
business.
of my business.
None
That's
ya,
right.
as we used to say growing up. None ya.
None, ya.
None ya. So
None, ya, and none of mine either.
that's it. None ya. So you heard it right here, folks. Right? None ya, none of mine either. But even that right there, right? Even that is a place of maturity, because if I can understand that, you know and I always say, God grant me. And if y'all folks don't like the even the word God can be Stevie Wonder, like, but like, I'm a Jesus God person. But God grant then just grant me the serenity, right, to
Mhm,
accept the
mhm,
things I cannot change. Other people, what they think,
mhm.
what they say, the courage to change the things I can. Me, that me.
Yes.
Fix me, I'll fix it. Just fix
Mhm,
me, just fix me, I'll fix it. And the wisdom to know the difference, but to do
mhm.
you anyway. There's
Yeah.
a wonderful spoken word artist named Tony Jones, and
Mhm.
she has a piece called Energy Budget. And I use it in my therapy. So,
Okay.
recalibrate your energy budget from
Mhm.
what someone else thinks, especially when you're going about being you. And
Mhm.
we had not been encouraged to feel confident in our colorfulness.
Mhm. Yes.
We
Yes.
cancel that now.
Yes.
We
Yes.
cancel that
Absolutely.
now. I can't have you measure me or anyone by what, huh? You don't know my story. No, thank you. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
me. Too old for the nonsense.
And not, I was gonna say, and not only that, I'm a big, I love Michael Bernard Beckwith, who is the founder
Yeah.
of Agape International out in California.
Yes.
And I watch him and I listen to him all the time. Um, Also to know that I, in this life, this is just one life, right? And if we truly believe that this is just one life, we have so many more to go, right? And again, eat the fish, spit out the bones. Just
Mm.
enjoy this life, even the what we consider the bad times, right? Um, it's an experience. It's an experience that we're having in this body at this time, right? But if,
Mm.
again, if I can take those experiences, those lessons learned all through this life and move on to when I move on to the next life and be conscious of those things when I move on to the next life, then the next life will be even better. I'm not ready to leave yet.
Yeah, no, you're not making any plans. But what
Yes,
you're
but
saying is
I have no
one is
fear about
tied
what's
to
to
the
come.
other. You
Yeah,
know,
I
you
have no
would
fear
love,
about what's to come.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
yeah.
would love my son, right? Who is a Hindu. So
Okay.
he,
Yes.
the many gods, one tied to another. And I
Mhm.
love this about, again, learning here and being able to tie some of these things up, but also knowing that my experience is fluid and that I will continue to float amongst the universes and the clouds. And I think also hearing you say this is really important because often Black women are not given, even, or don't, not given, no one needs to give us anything anymore, by the way. So that's why I don't like to get wrapped up in this kind of colonial, because I'm gonna just take, right? And
Mhm.
also that woman I mentioned, Tony Jones, spoken word, she does this beautiful piece, Take Up Space, Sis.
Mhm.
You take up space. No more, I need to give, you have to give me, you take up space. So my favorite three of hers, and I use these in therapy. And so if you folks out there don't know Tony Jones, Toni, you can get her on Spotify. I'm sure you can get her on Apple. But Take Up Space, Sis, Energy Budget, and Worth Ethic.
Mhm.
Not work ethic, but worth ethic, you know.
Mhm.
So she does a whole other one called My Yoni for those of y'all out there still having sex. I don't want to talk about that. I'm not one of them. I don't want to be.
That's another show.
That's another show. All right. Sibongale, it
Yes.
was such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Temple.
Such
Thank you for
an
putting up
amazing.
with me for this last year. I know we've been, like you said, we've been talking about doing this for a long time. So
Oh my
thank you
gosh.
for having me. It's been as much fun as we expected it to be. So
We expected it to be fun, and it was that and more. I am so proud of us.
yes, yes.
I
And look,
am so
we learned how to use this StreamYard
We
thing.
learned how to use this StreamYard. And, once again, folks, please join me. If join me, like and subscribe if you're going to catch this in the replay. Come on
Mhm.
out, send some comments to
Yes.
tell us what you think. Also, send your positive comments. If you don't have positive comments, then just keep those out because we're just
Keep it
not
to
into
yourself.
that. That's it. This is a spiritual channel. Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you so much. And wait, one last thing. You can check out Sabongale at We Don't
We don't
Retire,
retire.
We
We
Ascend.
ascend, both
That's
on
right.
YouTube and Instagram.
That's it. And hang on, one last thing, and then Substack, of course,
The
right?
Substack, yes,
And
spitting out bones.
Instagram.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you.
And y'all come back and see us again soon. Okay. Take care. Bye. Have a
Mhm.
great day. Mwah. Love everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.